Hello everyone, my name is Jacob with the Loose Canons today, and I'm here to talk to you about my review of Final Fantasy 15. I am so happy to be saying those words. I cannot express how happy I am to have this game. I've been following its development since it first appeared back in like 2006 as Final Fantasy Versus 13. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. I've played nearly every single game, including the spin-offs like World of Final Fantasy and the Unspoken 13 trilogy. But I've just been so excited for this game, and I've been putting probably way too much of my time into it. I have over 60 hours on my main save, which was in English, and I've done pretty much almost everything in the game. And about another 30 on my Japanese save, so I could see the story in Japanese as well, to hear just the difference of the voices. Um, Personally, I like the English ones a little more. I think they give a little more. It hits closer to home, is what I'm saying. But so, as always, we're going to start with my review score out of 10, and I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It was a beautiful game, and in my opinion, it's the best Final Fantasy since probably 10. And so let's get on with it. Let's start with the bads. I have two bads with the whole game. One, the summons. I was not a particular fan of how they just kind of randomly happen, and that didn't please me. As a Final Fantasy veteran, I really enjoyed being in the old games, being able to summon whenever I wanted to, even if I'm fighting a level 2 goblin and I'm like level 80, or if I'm, say, fighting one of the secret bosses, I like being able to summon whenever I can. But in Final Fantasy 15, a lot of the summons were very random or tied to specific events that you would only get to see the summon once. Like, for example, during one of the final boss fights, you get to summon. Um, I forget who it is. It was the big dragon, the big that Luna dies while trying to talk to it. Anyways, you only get to summon it like once, and that was very disappointing to me because I really liked that. I really like the summons. They're very cinematic and they're gorgeous and they're super OP as they should be. Um, that's really all there is to say about the summons, though. Next is the fact that to understand the story in its entirety, you have to go out of your way to watch the Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive film and the Final Fantasy 15 anime called Brotherhood. And a lot of people, this turned a lot of people off, and I thought, and to me personally, this is actually a good. I like when things expand like this. Um, the movie's only about 2 hours or so. It's not that long, and the anime is another two and a half. So it take you about maximum 5 hours to get through the whole thing. Which, if you're gonna play a Final Fantasy game, 5 hours is nothing. That's like the tutorial. But I really liked it. I really liked the movie and the anime, especially with the movie. I loved the cast. I loved Aaron Paul as the main protagonist. The actress who plays Cersei in Game of Thrones, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but she's the voice of Luna Freya, and Sean Bean as the king. And I thought those were all great casting choices. They fit the characters very well, and they even sound somewhat close as far as Luna and the king go. They sound close to their game counterparts. As for the anime, it's only 5 episodes, and each one's about 20-30 minutes. So, and it just gives a more of a backstory to our four heroes, Noctis, Ignis, Prompto, and Gladiolus, and it gives their history together. It teaches us about them and what they've all been through together. I really liked it though. Uh, Again, animation was top quality. The script was really good. I really liked Prompto's episode. That was probably my favorite. Prompto's backstory about how he, as a kid, was really fat and was intimidated by Noctis. And throughout his entire childhood, he spent his whole time getting his confidence up to try just to be able to talk to Noctis, and it blossoms and to this friendship, and it continues to develop into the game. And that happens with all of them. They all go through something with Noctis in the anime of their past, and it just continues to build on it in the game, and that's one of my favorite things about the game. So let's actually get into the goods because I can't help it. The characters, I every single character in this game was gold. There was not a single bad character in this game. I know Prompto's kind of kawaii anime style can turn people off, but that to me was a big turn on. I liked it a lot. Also, if that's going to be something that turns you off, why are you playing a Final Fantasy game in the first place? The character designs, though, they were all. I loved their designs, especially they haven't changed that much since 2006, which I was very happy to see that. Um, so the story, though, I personally really like the story. I think this is the best story that's come out of a Final Fantasy game in years, and I think many people would agree with me on that. It has a nice flow to it, and a lot of people complain about the last 5 chapters of the game feeling kind of rushed, and I can see why they would say that. I personally disagree, though. I think it was just right because once you leave um, once you leave on the boat, the game physically tells you you're not going to come back for a while. So at that point, you know to be prepared to do nothing but the story for X amount of time. The story was absolutely great, though. I love. A lot of people also had a problem with Luna and Noctis's relationship. I thought it was very well done, especially with the flashbacks. I thought the flashbacks were a really interesting idea. That a nice little twist onto how they know each other instead of watching it build throughout the modern. It's set in the past, and I like that. The combat of the game is really fluid, and as a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, it reminds me immensely of Kingdom Hearts. The game was designed by Tetsuya Nomura, the same man who made Kingdom Hearts, before he left the project. But it's easily one of my favorite combat styles. I love that real-time action, but with the RPG elements, it's one of my favorite things. Side quests were kind of more of the same in every Final Fantasy, but that's not a downside for me. I personally really like the side quests. Go fetch this, come back. All right, now go talk to this person. I I like that. And then my one thing, just the dungeon designs. The dungeons in this game are ridiculously fun. They're very linear in a sense, but they have so many ways to get through it that it doesn't seem linear at the same time. It's like you know you're going to get from here to here. Like you know where the end of the dungeon is as soon as you go in. But there's so many branching paths that just meet up. And I like that design. But overall, this was absolutely one of my favorite games of last year. No, not one of. It was my favorite game of 2016 last year, and I will continue to play it for months on end. I will be playing with all the DLC. I will be reviewing the DLC when it comes out. Um, and that's about it. So thank you for tuning in. This has been Jacob with the Loose Cannons.